New Zealand, an island nation isolated from the rest of the world by thousands of kilometres of open ocean. Landscapes forged by titanic forces. Peaks carved by fire and ice. Rugged coastlines and primeval forests. Over millions of years, these islands and neighbouring Australia became extraordinary evolutionary laboratories. Bizarre species found nowhere else on Earth emerged and thrived. Some of the world's most unusual animals evolved after the extinction of the dinosaurs. A unique creature survived and can still be found in New Zealand. The Tuatara. Scientists venture into remote parts of New Zealand searching for clues to its origins.
That must be it. This must be it.
They reveal its distant relatives.
They're certainly an amazing animal. They haven't changed much since prehistoric days.
How did this ancient reptile survive when so much life became extinct?
Holding 200 million years of history.
There's a way to make an entrance.
My destiny.
It was now a conspiracy of witches.
Download Veely today.
Just 80 kilometres north of Auckland lies Little Barrier Island. It's a refuge for threatened species. Department of Conservation Rangers Lee Joyce and Richard Wally manage this very special reserve. Today their colleague Nicola Torquay has joined them in search of a rare animal found only in New Zealand.
As the department's threatened species ambassador, my role is all about raising profile and awareness, but also getting to understand all of our threatened species in New Zealand and the best way to protect them.
Nicola's here today to learn about the Tuatara breeding program.
Like a lost world. Little Barrier or Hauturu is the closest you can get to the way that New Zealand would have been before people and their pests and predators arrived. It's just kind of life everywhere you look.
I just saw a tui just flying there.
Many of these animals are the last of their kind living in the wild. For their protection, visiting the island requires government permission.
It's an intact ecosystem. You've got native bats here, you've got the short-tailed bat and the long-tailed bat, and this incredible diversity of bird life. It's just magical.
The team has come to the island to investigate a living fossil, a survivor from the age of the dinosaurs. At nearly a metre long, the Tuatara may look like a large lizard, but the resemblance is only skin deep. Tuatara are far more primitive. Their family tree split away from lizards more than 250 million years ago.
It would be easy to lump Tuatara in with other reptiles like lizards, like geckos and skinks. But once you see one, it becomes very apparent that they are a completely different animal altogether.
The Tuatara is the only survivor of an ancient group of reptiles known as Rhynchocephalians, or beakheads. They're a sister group to the dinosaurs, but even more ancient and primitive. Yet the Tuatara survived when most of its relatives couldn't. Their origins predate the dinosaurs by 20 million years. It's a history written into their strange anatomy. Tuatara have no openings for their ears and only limited hearing. But their large skulls do contain a remarkable third eye, complete with retina and nerve endings. Visible at birth, scales cover the eye within just a few months. Scientists are still uncertain of its purpose. But the third eye is just one of the Tuatara's many surprises. Most modern animals have teeth that grow out of sockets. The Tuatara's teeth grow direct from the jaw as one solid piece of bone, an adaptation perfect for life as a scavenger. The teeth work like scissors, allowing the Tuatara to eat almost anything. When food is scarce, Tuatara are capable of slowing their metabolism down, allowing them to survive for up to 12 months without eating. Their slow lifestyle helps them to live to more than 100 years old. Free of predatory mammals and offering plenty of food sources, Little Barrier Island is a vital refuge for a unique reptile threatened with extinction.
Guys, this is the juvenile part of the Tuatarium.
You go nice and quiet.
Okay, if you lift.
Here we go. Oh, here's a beautiful colour. Well, see what little dude. They do this amazing little crocodile roll where they really, you see the strength in them. Sometimes when you pat them on their tummy, it calms them right down. Just relaxes them a little bit.
They're all muscle, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
The team will monitor the growth of this young female. By the time she's fully grown, she will have more than tripled in size.
And then you see where the structure in the tail is a little bit different. There's where it lost the tip of his tail and regrown.
The ability to shed their tail when attacked is an escape mechanism they share with lizards.
The whole idea is the tail keeps wriggling, and then whatever's going to eat the Tuatara in this case will come in and go for the wriggling tail rather than the actual individual. It gives them a chance to get away.
Tuatara were once plentiful throughout New Zealand, but their survival is now threatened. The arrival of humans and introduced predators nearly wiped them out. Their eggs were easy targets for introduced rodents.
The fossil records show that the moment rats arrived, Tuatara disappeared.
Little Barrier is one of the few places where Tuatara still survive in the wild. A breeding program was started in the 1990s when the island's Tuatara population had fallen to just 8 adults. The threat of extinction was very real.
Tuatara have been here like over 200 million years, you know, and they could be gone like that if we didn't step in and do something for them.
Even today, their existence is fragile, but these animals survived when their larger, stronger competitors died out. How did Tuatara survive the catastrophic events that caused the dinosaurs to disappear? Clues are found in its survival strategies.
What have we got here?
One of the females here has laid some eggs under this paving stone. We'll dig them up because if we leave them here and the young ones hatch, there's a chance that the adults actually come in and eat them.
Cannibalism is a common survival strategy among reptiles. Great care is taken when removing the eggs from the burrow. Richard will transport them from here to an incubator.
They're quite fragile, these eggs.
They take a little bump, but of course, if I put any punches in them, there's a chance of damaging the egg. So, yeah, want to be as careful as we can.
These precious eggs developed in their mother's body for 8 months, a gestation period almost 3 times as long as most reptiles. The cool New Zealand climate forces the young to shelter in their egg for as long as 16 months. It's the longest incubation period observed in a reptile.
So I just write a little number on them for record, and also this way I know which way is up. They shouldn't be turned or moved too much.
Though Tuatara can lay up to 19 eggs at a time, it'll be at least 2 years before this female will be ready to lay again.
It really is like you're digging up treasure, isn't it?
Today the team has recovered 10 eggs.
Pretty special, eh?
Wow.
Do you think this
Holding 200 million years of history in my hand. Incredible. I can't even describe how special that is.
Pop them in the vermiculite just down in here.
Gosh, no pressure.
Thanks to Little Barrier's breeding program, the original 8 Tuatara have multiplied. Over only a few years, the population has increased to nearly 300.
So that head start just gives them that little bit of extra push, I guess, you know, like a bit of safety net. Tuatara, that means spiny back in Māori.
So there's the bit for me that just links them straight to the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
really, isn't it? Like he's like a little
spine.
mini stegosaurus or something.
Yeah.
Its spine is made of keratin, the same material as fingernails. And while it might look like a miniature dinosaur, the Tuatara has developed survival strategies far more effective than its prehistoric cousins. From its third eye, unique teeth, long life and slow lifestyle, which adaptation allowed the Tuatara to survive when the rest of its order was wiped out? Researching this ancient reptiles competition could reveal some fresh insights. The first would be discovered in an unassuming stream bed deep in a New Zealand forest. The Maunga Forest is in New Zealand's central North Island. Accessing its remote and rugged landscape is not easy. Geologist Julian Thompson and fossil enthusiast Pete Shaw are on a mission to unearth clues to New Zealand's ancient past. The ancestors of the Tuatara were called Rhynchocephalians and shared the unusual characteristic of a large beak-shaped head. Outside New Zealand, the rise of faster, stronger dinosaurs saw the end of their reign. So how did the Tuatara outlive the dinosaurs? 180 million years ago, the southern hemisphere was connected as one landmass, a supercontinent called Gondwana. Over millions of years, Gondwana broke apart into the continents we know today. By the time New Zealand separated, dinosaurs had dominated for more than 120 million years. Yet for years, no fossil record of dinosaurs had been found in New Zealand. Many scientists thought when New Zealand split from Gondwana, dinosaurs simply missed the boat. If New Zealand separated from Gondwana before the arrival of dinosaurs, it would easily have given the Tuatara an evolutionary advantage. Though less than a metre long, the Tuatara would have been uncontested as a dominant reptile. It was a theory put to rest by a surprising figure.
Up to the mid-1970s, no dinosaur bones had been found in New Zealand. This all changed when a local amateur geologist, an enthusiast, who was called Joan Whiffen, found a map, a geological map of this area, and she saw reptile bones had been written by a geologist. So with great excitement, she started to explore the area with a group of friends. And then she came up with a number of really important discoveries, one of which was the first dinosaur bone to ever be found in New Zealand.
The first discovery was the tailbone of a theropod dinosaur, from the same family as Tyrannosaurus rex. Joan Whiffen made a number of extraordinary discoveries, including the vertebra from the tail of a titanosaur, the largest creature that has ever lived on Earth. This proved that large dinosaurs once lived alongside the Tuatara. But unlike the dinosaurs, the ancestors of the Tuatara survived. New Zealand's landscape has been formed by earthquakes and volcanoes. Over millennia, any traces of its prehistoric inhabitants had been covered over or destroyed. But Joan Whiffen's discovery changed scientific thinking.
But hadn't it been for her, we wouldn't be thinking about New Zealand's geology the way we are now.
Despite Joan's efforts, the difficulty of the terrain means much of this wilderness has yet to be properly surveyed for fossils.
It's very inaccessible. The sides of this little stream bed are almost vertical, so getting in here is really hard. Getting out will be really hard. But we're the first people to actually be looking and searching through this area. That's really exciting.
As sea levels changed and seismic forces acted on the land, New Zealand's coast has continually altered. This riverbed once lay beneath the ocean. Because the fossil record is so sparse, any new discovery has the potential to dramatically increase understanding of life in ancient New Zealand.
Those dinosaurs are going to be in little bits and pieces. They already have rotted and fallen to bits, and those bones individually will have been washed in, which makes them so rare. There may be a bone inside, and really there may be nothing inside. It's a shell.
Just don't know what you're going to find. You go around the corner in the creek and there could be something there that nobody's ever seen before, and it could be something really special.
There's a fish bone and shark's teeth, and I can't see any bone. So we spent hours, going up this stream, sniffing around, feeling with our hands under the boulders. Don't think it's anything.
Actually, what's that over there?
Occasionally, we're quite lucky.
What's that there? There.
Yeah, that's a bit of a backbone. I mean, this could be the central part of a vertebra. What we found here is a piece of bone, which we recognise because the texture is quite rough, a little bit like sandpaper, and it sticks out of the rock, which is mostly very smooth. Just possible, it could be a dinosaur that was broken up, decaying, and one bone washed into the sea.
The remoteness of the area demands fossils be small enough to carry out. Larger samples must be left behind.
Hey! Hey!
Oh, what do you got there?
Really hard to tell. Those could be teeth. Those two little pointy things.
Yeah, they look like teeth to me, little wee teeth.
So that's the jaw then. It's a little bit of the jawbone. Quite a small one. Could be a reptile, most likely, but a small one. That's what to take home.
Yeah, absolutely.
You reckon?
Yeah.
The fossils will take months to analyse. Any new discovery could dramatically increase our understanding of life in ancient New Zealand.
In all of these boulders, there are hidden stories of life on Earth before human beings were even thought of.
New Zealand's fossil record proves Tuatara were the only member of their family to survive competition with the dinosaurs. Was their smaller size the key to their success? The answer lies across the Tasman Sea in Australia, home to another ancient survivor, and the world's most fearsome reptile. In North Australia, rivers and estuaries are home to the saltwater crocodile. Like the Tuatara, these reptiles are virtually unchanged since they lived alongside dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were the most successful life form on Earth, roaming the planet for 135 million years. Their reign came to an abrupt end 65 million years ago when an enormous meteor smashed into the Earth, extinguishing over 70% of life. The Tuatara survived this mass extinction event. But if size was a factor, why did the larger crocodile survive as well? Male saltwater crocodiles can reach over 6 meters in length and weigh as much as a car. These aggressive creatures are the world's largest reptile and one of the deadliest.
Since 1971, we've had 24 fatalities, which is not a great deal, but one is still too many.
Senior wildlife ranger Tommy Nichols is accustomed to dealing with giant crocodiles up close. Tommy runs the crocodile management program for the Parks and Wildlife Commission. He's well aware a deceptively calm waterway can hide great danger.
You can go to a lot of river systems and you can see nothing. You may see the odd one crocodile.
There's a good reason their presence isn't easy to detect. Though they're significantly larger, crocodiles rival the much smaller Tuatara for slow living. They're able to lower their heart rate and hold their breath for more than an hour. In times of food shortage, crocodiles, like Tuatara, slow their metabolism and can survive up to 12 months without eating. They are patient hunters, often waiting weeks for prey to move near to them. The crocodile's sensitive skin can read vibrations in the water and tell them when dinner is about to be served.
So they do just about eat anything. There's nothing safe from them.
For both Tuatara and crocs, not being fussy about the menu can be a big advantage when food is in short supply. Youngsters start with insects and small fish, but a mature saltwater crocodile has one of nature's most powerful bites. An adult can quickly rip its food apart.
They're certainly an amazing animal. They haven't changed much since prehistoric days. They're extremely adaptable to the area they live in. They're also an extremely dangerous animal.
With more than 20 years on the job, Tommy knows how dangerous it can be to get too close to those teeth.
Yes, I have lost 2 fingers. It happened with a croc. We're getting one out of the trap. He'd done something a little bit different than what they normally do. He grabbed me on the whole hand here. Now, if he would have just grabbed it, would have been all right, but the trouble is that he gripped on and he spun. That's what done all the damage, and he ripped the whole thing off.
Managing one of the world's apex predators involves setting traps to catch any that come too close to humans.
Okay, this one is Mecca's Creek. First trap on the run. It's a popular place for recreational fishing. They move this time of the year basically because breeding season's on. So you've got the young males who can't compete with the bigger ones, so they're kicked out of those areas and they're moving in. And also you've got females who are nesting at this stage, getting ready for nesting and breeding.
Only experienced rangers are allowed to handle the traps.
3 point and the door's down, which is good. There's a possibility of a croc in here.
The door has been sprung. The trap could contain a 6-metre-long croc, weighing almost 1,000 kilograms.
Give it a check. The water's dirty, just see if there is anything in there.
This end.
Nothing, eh?
Nothing.
There's a stick there like someone's been annoying it. No, I think the croc may have been released.
All the rangers can do is rebait the trap and move on to the next. It's ironic that while people released the crocodile from the trap, humans are the crocodile's most serious threat. The popularity of goods made from crocodile skin led to an alarming decline in numbers last century.
Prior to 1971, crocodiles were hunted extensively, and matter of fact, they became an endangered species, now down to 5,000 animals.
Hunting was banned, and crocodiles, like the Tuatara, became a protected species.
And they've now up to 100,000, so they've certainly come back.
This dramatic population recovery has created its own problems. Full-grown crocodiles are apex predators. No one told them people are off the menu.
Now we've got a problem where we've got too many crocodiles and we're trying to stop interaction between the public and crocodiles. So they're a very adaptable animal and they're an opportunistic killer.
While Tuatara only live on land, it's this ability to move between land and water that makes Australia's crocodiles so dangerous. They can cope with high levels of salt and also thrive in freshwater. And they can move surprisingly fast on land.
They're extremely adaptable to most conditions. They haven't changed much since dinosaur days.
The rivers and estuaries crocodiles live in drain into the ocean. The team has been alerted to a crocodile in a trap near a popular beach.
If we didn't have this program going, the chances of a fatality would be extremely high. A lot of people live just not very far away from here, and so unfortunately some of the kids do go swimming here every now and again.
It'll be a good 2 metres.
Okay, no worries. We have taken a 4 metre croc out of here, and we have another one here today, which is only a small one, around about 2 metres.
Despite the croc's relatively small size, he's still a threat.
Wait until he stops moving for that zip tie.
A cable tie is secured around the snout, but the battle is far from over.
You happy with that? Yeah, that looks good. It's good, tiring himself out.
Yeah. Give him time to stop spinning and then you'll be right.
Looks tight. Yeah, looks tight. Yep. Looks good.
Although he's been partially incapacitated, the team needs to get this aggressive croc on land quickly to ensure everyone's safety.
Just to make him nice, secure, safe for us.
He'll be moved to a new home where he won't come into contact with humans.
This size is a problem, not just to kids, also to some adults, especially if you're in deeper water. If he takes you under, unfortunately, we don't breathe underwater.
These reptiles have maintained their intimidating size as a top predator for millennia.
It's all secure and ready to go to the croc farm. And we'll rebait the trap, ready for the next one, because there's another big tide tonight. We may be lucky again. Good one.
The survival of the crocodile suggests being small wasn't the reason New Zealand's Tuatara survived when the dinosaurs did not. What other traits could explain why both species avoided extinction? GNS Science in Wellington is home to New Zealand's national fossil collection and many of the original discoveries of armchair paleontologist Joan Whiffen. Geologist Julian Thompson can't resist the opportunity to get his hands on the rocks that rewrote New Zealand prehistory.
These are from the New Zealand's national fossil collection. This one here is the first dinosaur bone ever found in New Zealand. So it's a profoundly significant fossil. I'm holding it with care. This is the vertebra of a theropod dinosaur. It's part of the tail section of the dinosaur, of the backbone. It was a predator, it was a meat-eater, it was standing up on its back legs, a bit like a Tyrannosaurus, but a smaller version. Probably stood about 3 meters high. This is another vertebra of the Titanosaur.
Weighing in at 90 tons, a Titanosaur was 15 times heavier than an African elephant. This plant-eating reptile is the largest creature to ever live on land.
It's not much to look at, but it is the only one we've got. So it tells us a huge story about the life that was present at that time, even though it's not a whole skeleton.
The collection also holds the skull of a mosasaur, a massive marine reptile.
This bone here is part of the wing of a flying reptile. They're incredibly rare, even rarer than the dinosaurs, actually, these pterosaur bones. So again, I'm treating this one very, very carefully.
Meanwhile, fossil expert John Symes has been taking a closer look at the fossils Julian and Peter brought back from the Maunga Taniwha forest, the same area where Joan made her discoveries. It's the moment of truth.
Right, Julian.
So what do you reckon?
Well, they're not bones.
They're not bones, okay, because we weren't sure about that.
Yeah.
We thought there might be a hint of teeth in that.
This one, the prime piece is actually wood.
John's verdict isn't what Julian was hoping to hear.
We should put that under a microscope just to be sure.
Double check. Okay, sounds good.
That's the cross-section of a branch. You can see straight away some very concentric rings, obvious tree rings. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's very clear. Yeah. Okay. So what you're telling me is, after 3 days of bush bashing through the jungle, we came up with some pieces of wood, which are not that important, really, are they?
The botany is very interesting. The Cretaceous fauna is a very exciting thing in plant history, so this will be studied in time to come.
New Zealand's fossil record is very sparse. There is still much to be uncovered. It might not be as intriguing as a dinosaur bone, but every clue to the ancient ecosystem of flora and fauna in primeval New Zealand adds to our knowledge of how life has evolved. The theory that dinosaurs never lived in New Zealand was proven incorrect by the remarkable discoveries of paleontologist Joan Whiffen. But how did the Tuatara survive the event which wiped out the dinosaurs? Clues to the mystery can be found by studying what New Zealand was like 65 million years ago, immediately after the dinosaurs were driven to extinction. Te Uri Stream is a small winding waterway near Hastings on New Zealand's North Island. It's also one of the most remarkable geological sites in the world. Where most people see rocks, Chris Hollis and his team see a timeline stretching back for millions of years.
As we continue walking up the stream, we're going to get into older and older rocks. We're looking for a dark sandstone. We're hoping to get to the extinction layer, the layer that marks the extinction of the dinosaurs.
Their target is a coloured band only a few centimetres wide. It's known as the KT boundary. The layers of rock on either side mark the Earth's geology before and after the meteor event that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs.
So we've gone from a warm subtropical climate back into a cool temperate climate. So we're getting very close to the dinosaur extinction layer.
Changes in temperature and humidity in the aftermath of the meteor event are recorded in the rock.
Green sand, glauconitic sandstone.
Conditions post-extinction led to the formation of a greenish sandstone along the stream. Beneath this green sandstone lies an extraordinarily unique substance.
Okay, so it's green sand down here. So that can't be the dinosaur extinction layer. So it must be somewhere over here. Hugh, if you can have a look, work that way and see if it's Cretaceous rock over there, we'll work through this way. This is pretty exciting. We're getting close, guys.
Yeah, this is Wongai. There's no green sand at all.
No green sand?
No, it's still Wongai.
This is green sand.
Well.
Oh, that must be it.
No.
That must be it. This must be it. If this is green sand, what about that here?
Yeah, that's the same as this here.
We've got it. Must be in here. We found the dinosaur extinction layer.
As the team clean the narrow strip, a dark band is revealed in the rock.
So that is the boundary right there.
A rich seam of a mineral called iridium. Iridium is a brittle, silvery metal. On Earth, it's very rare. But there's one place where it's common. In meteorites. As the dust from the meteor's impact settled, it left a permanent record, which was captured in stone. Research conducted in Te Uri Stream and similar sites around the world has revealed a clearer picture of this time period. Though they were located thousands of kilometres from the site of the meteor's impact, New Zealand and Australia were both affected. Each has a unique reptile survivor, the Tuatara and the saltwater crocodile. Why did they survive, but the dinosaurs perish?
We know an asteroid hit the Earth, but why did it kill the dinosaurs? What was the killing mechanism? Or New Zealand would have been fully vegetated. What we then discover is that at the time of the impact, all of that pollen record is gone. And for a brief moment in time, there's nothing. We surmise that the main killing mechanism was the global dust cloud and darkness killing the trees. The reason the dinosaurs die versus other things is because they were the larger life forms on Earth, so they needed the most food.
Tuatara and saltwater crocodiles have very low metabolic rates. When food is scarce, the ability to not eat for up to a year is a huge advantage. Both the Tuatara and the crocodile needed less food than dinosaurs, and needed it much less frequently. Their slow pace of life left them better suited to survive months of cold and darkness. "500 kilometres away on Little Barrier Island, Rangers Lee and Richard Wally are ready to introduce a new generation of Tuatara into the wild. Together with threatened species ambassador Nicola Torki, they search for a suitable release site.
Little Barrier is probably the jewel in the crown of our offshore island environments. It's a perfect microcosm of a healthy New Zealand before people and their pests and predators arrived.
Down here looks quite good.
An old burrow surrounded by vegetation is the ideal location to release Tuatara.
So some of the ones that have come from the same parentage, we're putting in different places to try and improve the genetics as much as we can.
Right.
First you have to find out which way tail and which way the nose.
Okay, so you're going to have a look first. That looks like a tail.
Just be ready when he runs. If he doesn't want to go in, we might have to direct him a little bit. Okay, and then could take a very gentle tickle there.
This Tuatara will spend much of its life near its burrow.
It's a pretty cool moment in his life, isn't it?
It is.
So I'm just going to mark the sides so we know where he is.
That's it. You know where he is?
Going in quite fast. Yeah. So that's good. It's a nice deep burrow, so he'll be good in there. And hopefully he'll hang out there. Often when they're hunting, they just literally come and sit in front of their burrow entrance. Basically wait for dinner to walk past them.
The Tuatara's slow lifestyle is a big part of their success. The ability to slow its metabolism down has enabled it to survive times when food is scarce. Evolving to thrive in New Zealand's colder temperatures prepared it for the dark days following the asteroid strike. And with no competition from mammals for millions of years, New Zealand provided a life raft for this unique survivor.
They are the last remaining member of a family that's since disappeared from the rest of the world. If a species like this can survive for more than 200 million years, then it's kind of our duty to make sure they can stick around for another few million yet.